The Madagascar School Project, Update 2015. This is where Madagascar is, off the southeast coast of Africa. And to get there, we travel through France, and the last part of the journey takes 11 hours. And here is a little look at the people as they live outside their homes. Nothing in their homes generally, but one big bed that they share communally. People are pretty happy despite their challenges and their life, but the one thing that they really wish is that their children could go to school. Here are the children standing outside, wishing very much that they could be students. And here is a local school that's been built for children, but you can see that only a few lucky children are inside, and the rest are outside. And these are the children that'll never get a chance to go to school because their parents can't afford to pay the tuition. So they stand outside and try to learn their alphabet and their numbers, but are never invited inside. In my naivety, I didn't know that there were still children in the world who didn't get an education. So this sparked me to come back to Canada and see if we could find a way to build a school for these children. These people gathered around at the like vision and together formed a Canadian Charitable Association, and we could start raising money to build a school. It was the following spring when we were able to begin building our first school in Madagascar called Louvassou, with 65 children the first year, kindergarten and grade 1, and it gradually grew from there. The next year, somebody from a neighboring village came and asked if we could build a school for them. So about 6 kilometers away, we chose this piece of land because it was in between several villages, and we bought that hayfield and started to build our first building. Now it's grown significantly since then, and in 2015 now looks like this. And you can see the big gardens below that we grow in order to be able to feed the children as well. We have 550 students now and 28 teachers. We go from kindergarten all the way up to grade 11, and within the next 2 years we hope to be graduating high school students. We teach mostly in French, as all state exams have to be written in French, but this is a challenge because the people speak only Malagasy when they begin their schooling. The parents speak only Malagasy. We also teach English. You can see here a high school class that's jammed into a bedroom as we wait for a new building to be built. Here's part of a grade 1 class working away and a grade 4 class. And the children are required also to wash the school, clean the school every Friday afternoon, as we have no custodial staff. So they happily go about that job with their friends. We also feed the children every day a rice meal with vegetables on top, and also the staff. So about 600 people now are getting fed daily. These are our cooks, and they start every morning at 7 and serve the meal and clean up. Our garden here produces a lot of the vegetable for our noon meal, although we haven't quite been able to cover it completely. We still have to buy some vegetables outside of our gardens. Our children have a church service every Friday morning. That used to mean toddling up to the little Anglican church in the next village, but as we are now too populous to be able to go to church there, the priest comes down to us. So here are children filing in for the Friday morning service. As you can see, they fill the place. Not so sure what we're going to do next year. Maybe have 2 services. Our Madagascar School Project has also helped this local church by donating enough money for it to build a new roof as it expands. We have women who have learned to sew with us in our trade school and now are responsible for sewing all the uniforms for our whole school. They work daily at this task and receive some recompense each time they sell a uniform. We also teach knitting and embroidery so that the people can make some things for us to sell. Here we're teaching agriculture, organic agriculture, we had a 5-day workshop with a person coming out from the city to teach, and this is so that our local farmers can learn organic methods and stop using strong pesticides and herbicides on their land. This is to try to make the land sustain over the long term. We also have some apprentices in our garden learning organic methods, and also some apprentices learning construction when our crew is on site. We do a lot of medical intervention as there are issues that need to be cared for and people can't afford to do it, so we take care of a lot of children, including treating this little fellow who will be on treatment for his whole life. This year we received many glasses from donors, but for the children they need to have an ophthalmologist come out, and these lucky children were able to get glasses. These are children who are severely malnourished, so we feed them a breakfast as well as their lunch. They just get a bowl of rice every morning to take them through to the noon meal. We also feed children under 4 years of age, as there's been a lot of death in that age group. They can come every day for a warm porridge meal packed with protein, and the state doctor says that this has helped a great deal in the children's growth. Deforestation is a big problem in Madagascar. About 2 centuries ago, all the trees were either burnt or cut down in order to make pasture land for cattle. This has made for very poor soil that erodes easily and has difficulty sustaining any animals. So we're planting lots of trees. Here the parents are helping us, and the students as well have an opportunity to bring trees and plants and plant them. They also bring manure for us and bring their spades one day, and we all get to work doing as much as we can. Here they also started a garden, and each class has a row to care for. We were lucky enough to get solar panels, and along with the batteries and the inverter and the regulator, we're able to have wonderful 24-hour power to run our phones and computers. This is a biogas digester. The idea is that you put manure down into it and the sun heats it and makes methane gas, which then travels up the yellow hose to a camp stove. This is in order to not have to cut down trees to cook the meal. So we built one this year, and this is what it looked like when I left in March. I understand that now it's cooking both breakfast and supper. We'll need a much bigger one if we're going to feed our 600 children this method, but we're hopeful that that'll work. During the rainy season in Madagascar, it rains hard every single day. Children are used to that. They're lucky if they can get to school dry, and then recesses are spent just under the roof unless one has to go to the washroom. The roads, though, take a beating from the constant rain, and it's very difficult. Driving from the city out to the country is an hour of bouncing, if indeed the roads are passable. And you can imagine how difficult it is for children walking to school in the pouring rain to come across the river on a bridge such as this. These are our teachers. They are a great group of people who really are just like family with each other. They support each other in wonderful ways. Here they've all come to greet a new baby that was born to our cook and to offer a prayer. Here our teachers are learning French through some debates that we run every week to get them to practice their oral French. Their native tongue is Malagasy, so it's an effort for them to learn English and French. Also, they've never had art class, so we try to teach all kinds of different arts that can expand their horizons, what they can do with their children. We were able to start a teacher training program. During this program, we hired students just out of high school, and we invite them to come and spend 2 years learning with our seasoned teachers and taking part in any training that's happening. The younger students this year, we decided to feed them their lunch meal right in their classroom to make it a more intimate experience and to teach them table manners. And so here they are, the kindergartens, enjoying their noon meal. And the children who get to set the table and clean up every day are very proud of their role and in participating. We also are speaking to the teachers about trying to be a little more approachable for their students. Instead of being the strict school marm, we're asking them to greet each student every day, look them in the eye, ask them how they are. And this type of attitude has really opened the children up, and the ones who were very shy and not participating are now participating with gusto. Our teachers spend time every day planning together and talking about the issues and the problems that the children face. This is our school committee, made up of teachers, principal, some guards, gardeners, and cooks, and together they make the decisions to lead the school forward. We're hoping to be self-sustaining by 2026. In other words, they would no longer get funding from Canada. And this is difficult as there is no economy right now in the village other than bartering. So microfinance is one of the things we want to do to try to help people have a little money. And this older woman started a store with just $20, and she's paying us back 25 cents a week. Madame Vuangi also was able to do more embroidery when we bought her some materials that she's now able to sell and pay us back for the loan. This young man was in his 4th year of medical school when his mother got ill, and all his education money went to treat his mum, who later passed away. He was unable to go back to med school, so we're helping him to finish up his last 4 years, and he's coming to work at our medical clinic on his holidays. Miss Dolmeen is the youngest of 10 children in her family, and so father was not able to pay for any secondary education, and Dolmeen really wants to be a midwife. Another part of our sustainability project is to grow chickens, both laying hens and meat chicks. So here's our room that we're going to start our laying chicks in, and here's where we're going to have our meat chicks. Hopefully that will sell the meat and the eggs and make money for the school. We also hope to grow organic vegetables that we can sell to the city on this land with our gardeners. Here's the rice field that we've just bought. We plan to make our own rice for the students so that we can save on the cost of buying. Toonie twinning is another way that people can give to individual children to help them to get an education. So we're up to 242 children who are receiving funding at $2 a week from children and adults in Canada. There's also a letter writing element to this partnership. It's great to see the children. These are the ones I started off in 2008 in kindergarten, and they're now in high school having passed the state exams. Early morning at the school. Time to clean up the office. Mr. Alain using a coconut to polish the floor. And they arrive, little groups here and there from all around. The vantage point from up here on the veranda is quite lovely. As you can see, for more than a kilometer, people arriving. the students gather. Don't you want it? Students are saying excuse me as they pass their teacher. These 3 little children walked 2.5 hours to get here. We're worried about them because it's too much walking for them, but their parents really want them to be here where they'll be fed and cared for by medical attention. The bananas have arrived for the morning snack, and the rice is a boil. Okay, it marche. So here we have Miss Julie, who is working with a student, twinning student, who's busy writing his letter to his friend. And Julie has a computer that can talk. Quick trip to the washroom, wash the hands, and then down for lunch. Students lining up for lunch. The students pick up a cup and get some nice hot ranampango rice water, and then take their place. And the children get their food. And now the teachers get to eat, and the garden staff gets to eat. I want to thank you very much for all that you've done for us, your loyal support and encouragement, and I want to suggest that you visit our website at MadagascarSchoolProject.com. You can get in touch with us there, and you can see all the projects that we're doing. Thank you very much.